Dan Shaughnessy of the Boston Globe. The Red Sox got off the mat to make a brand new start of it in New York. His recent column, and Dan joins us now. Dan, how surprised were you at what happened last night?
Well, one thing we need to remember is there's frequently no carryover, and that would be something for folks to take to the stadium tonight, is that 16-1 looked great for the Sox, but is there any carryover if Sabathia is good and Porcello's not? So, yeah, it certainly felt like it was all about New York after the way the thing ended in Fenway on Saturday. And then right out of the jump, Severino had nothing. Boone was oblivious to that and then brought a ill-equipped starter into the game and just let it get away early, which was it was a jailbreak from that point.
When did you realize that Severino maybe got to the ballpark late or got to his bullpen session late?
I didn't know about the lateness until, mid-game, or, it was being reported, I guess, by Darling on TV. But the first pitch of the game, Mookie Betts hit it like 110 miles an hour to center field. It was on the warning track, and you could tell they were squaring up everything. And that was through 3 innings when it was still a manageable 3-0 game. But I was stunned after seeing, we've seen Severino. He's a trick-or-treat pitcher. He can have no-hit stuff, or he can take you out of the game early. And in a short series or any playoff series, you got to be prepared for that. They were last year when he spit the bit in the wild card game. They had him out of there in the first inning. I was stunned that with the stable of bullpen arms that they have out there, that they gave this game away. And it's weird to think of a 16-1 game. The Yankees could have done better, but when it was still 3-4-0, if they take care of business and get into that Boston bullpen, it's a different game. So they just gave that one away.
Do you think the Red Sox are the best team?
Well, it changes every day, Dan. I mean, today I say yes, but I didn't think they were 8 games better than the Yanks. I thought that the 108 was a little bit deceiving, which is weird to say because I think only like 11 teams in baseball have ever done as much or more. But the American League was really a caste system this year. You had these tremendously terrible teams, 100 loser teams. And the Sox took care of business against them, and I think they were 16-3 against Baltimore. So, and again, you can't punish them for beating the teams in front of them, but it was an unusual. There was no middle class in the American League this year, and the Sox took advantage of that. But against the playoff field, Boston was 18-21, and the Yankees, I think, were 22-16. So no, I did not think the Sox were 8 games better than them.
The David Price conundrum. Can you? Wow. You have to leave him at home, and even if you leave him home, you got roughed up there, the other night.
Yeah. I mean, this thing, anything's possible. You could see him in a relief role still, although they don't have many lefty hitters. He's not really a specialist, and he's been so bad in the stadium here. But I do think if Boston advances, he's in the rotation for the next round. He may get moved to the 4 guy or something like that, but he will be one of their starters if they play Houston.
Do you still feel like there's this, is there still tension between the Red Sox and Yankees? It's been a long time since they got together in the playoffs, but do you still feel like it's there?
It's nothing like it was, of course, and there's much more professional respect, and they're all play association and all that stuff. It's just the millennials just aren't wired the way Munson and Fisk were, who really hated each other, so you just aren't going to have that. But I do think that, they had a little brawl earlier this year where Joe Kelly was involved in. That was kind of fun, and I think that Judge walking by the clubhouse playing the music, was a little bit provoking, and I think that Holtz, styling on the cycle, hitting it off the catcher in the 9th inning. I don't think the Yankees probably love that either. But when you're getting your ass kicked 16-1, you really can't say anything. But sometimes people remember that. Keep an eye on Sabathia tonight early because he hates the Red Sox when they bunt on him, and they should come out of the gate. Betts should try to push one up the first baseline right at the start of the game because Sabathia hates that, and I think they should do it.
Ron Darling also mentioned that the Red Sox shouldn't have been swinging on 3-0 counts last night, with that big advantage. And I thought, you know what? When these two teams play each other, I think they know what the unwritten rule is. We may not on the outside looking in, but he had a problem with them swinging, going for home runs when you're up by that kind of margin. What'd you think?
I love Darling, and we're older guys. We're all Rich Gossage when it comes to this, right? It's like. I think the Sox took a bag with 10-0 lead too. I mean, there was things going on that again, but you've got to take care of that. In a playoff series, you can't get all emotional. So their job is to win the game tonight. But I'm sure some of that stuff they weren't wild about. But what can you say when you're down 16-1?
Any other drama up there in New England? I saw where the Celtics might be on the short list for Anthony Davis. Patriots feel like that everything's getting back to normal here. Anything else to write about?
The Patriots, yeah, it's a high renaissance, as you know, up in our town. And, the Patriots got a huge game. Kansas City is Sunday night. That's a big one for them. And we expect them to get where they want to go, which is the AFC Championship game they do every year. Celtics have high expectations with everything that's happened in the conference. And Davis, that's a stretch, but it's nice to have it talked about. And
what about Kyrie? He said he wants to re-sign, so I know it's just verbal, but what do you make of that?
Kyrie says the earth is flat. I mean, I don't believe anything that comes out of his mouth. I mean, he seems like a nice kid. I think he's always messing with us. So that was a weird thing to do in front of the season ticket holders. So It's great. I hope it's true. And there's a lot to believe in here, given the young roster they have and young coach they have and the weakness of the conference. Why wouldn't you want to stay here? So hopefully that is true, but I'll believe it when he re-ups.
And Gordon Hayward, it's green light. He's good to go, full go?
Yeah, and that, again, they got to the one game from the conference finals, from the NBA finals without their two best players. And we've seen him for a total of 5 minutes in regular season games. So a lot to look forward to there, and they should be the best team in the East.
Dan, thanks for joining us as always. Have fun tonight. Play nice as well.
I will. Thanks, Dan. Take care.
Dan Shaughnessy, Boston Globe columnist.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Dan Patrick Show app.